The organisers of a Black Lives Matter protest in the Forest of Dean have begun giving talks in local schools to help educate children about issues of inequality and racism.
Hadi and Eleni faced abuse when they organised a demonstration for hundreds of people in Lydney this summer, but they say it's simply inspired them to do more. Max Walsh reports from Clearwell Primary School in Colford.
It's all based on your different coloured stickers, that's it. So if you had a blue sticker, you're allowed to sit down, and if you had a green sticker, you're allowed to stand up.
Explaining racism to children isn't easy, but having experienced it from a young age, Hadi believes it should be spoken about more.
What would be a good example of not being treated equally?
At Clearwell Primary School in Colford, more than 80% of its pupils are white. It's a setting Hadi is familiar with.
A lot of the racial issues that I had came from people who I considered my friends, and it was probably meant with no malice and no bad intention, but actually, you know, there is this kind of lack of awareness of things that are acceptable and not acceptable. And I think now we have to set an example to these generations that actually we have to talk about it, we have to call it out, we have to address it, and we have to not allow that to continue any further.
Hadi and Eleni were thrust into the spotlight over the summer when they organised a Black Lives Matter protest in Lydney. They faced opposition from the town council, abuse online, and an intervention from the local MP. But in June, 300 people joined them in a peaceful demonstration.
On a personal level, it's like an achievement. We've kind of been able to prove all those people wrong.
And it's that experience which has inspired them to do more.
I think it's one of the most important places to start, and the younger the better, really. If we get kids talking about it and trying to understand what it means to be treated equally, and how they can start to learn about like standing up for friends and asking questions and making it like a safe space to learn and to ask questions. That there are things that, you know, we weren't necessarily taught when we were younger, and that is continuing to improve, but there is a lot more work to be done.
Today in class, these Year 3 and 4s are already putting into words what many adults sometimes struggle to discuss.
Like, you stand up for them, like you help them if they're being treated not very nicely. We've all been made up from God, and it doesn't make like that we're different. We have to be treated the same as others. I learned that not everybody is treated the same, but it has changed mostly, and that some things still need to change.
When we're talking about equality, in this particular instance, we're talking about skin colour and we're talking about race.
Hadi and Eleni say this is exactly where the conversation needs to start. And after a summer of high-profile anti-racism protests and the recent Black History Month, it's more important than ever that this is just the beginning. Max Walsh, ITV News.
Some very clever children in there as well. Yeah.